It's time for a Bible story. A long time ago, there lived a man named Joseph. And Joseph and his family lived in the land of Canaan.
Canaan. I've heard that name before. Oh, isn't that the place with the really good chicken strips?
No, that's Raising Cane's, and it's a restaurant. Canaan was a country, like thousands of years ago.
Ah, gotcha. So that's Joseph right there, huh? And I guess those are all the people that lived in his village?
Actually, that's just Joseph's family.
All of those people? Seriously?
You bet. Joseph had a really big family. In fact, he had 11 brothers.
Whoa, that would be awesome to have that many brothers. You could have your own football team, or 2 basketball teams, or 6 tennis teams.
Okay, we get it. And actually, it wasn't all that awesome for Joseph. His brothers didn't like him at all. In fact, they kind of hated him.
How come?
Well, Joseph was his dad's favorite son. His father Jacob loved him like crazy. He thought he was the coolest, best, most awesome kid in the world.
Aren't you not supposed to have a favorite kid? That's like parenting 101. Or at least just keep that on the down low, I'm clearly my mom's favorite kid, but you don't hear her blabbing about it all the time.
Well, Jacob didn't keep it on the down low at all. He made it very clear that Joseph was his favorite son by giving him a special gift.
Ooh, what'd he get? A solid gold Xbox? A diamond-encrusted fidget spinner? An Xbox made out of gold and diamond fidget spinners?
No, because those things don't exist. His dad gave him a coat.
What? That's kind of a lame present. That's like getting underwear for Christmas.
Well, actually, back then it was a pretty special gift. This coat had all these different colors and the fabric was super nice. It was incredible. But of course, not everybody liked this coat that Joseph had.
Let me guess, his brothers.
Yep. When his brothers saw him get this nice coat, they got super jealous and extra mean to him. But then, something happened one day that made it a lot worse.
What happened?
Well, Joseph started to have some interesting dreams at night while he was sleeping. And these were different than any dreams that he'd had before.
Ah, classic case of the old weird dream, huh? Been there. One time, I had this dream that my hands were feet, and my feet were hands, and I had mouths on my knees.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop you right there. That's super weird. Joseph's dreams were not like that at all, but they were still pretty interesting. One night, he dreamed that he and his brothers were working in the field collecting wheat, when all of a sudden, Joseph's bundle of wheat stood up tall, and the bundles that his brothers were collecting all bowed down to it.
Whoa. I mean, that's a pretty weird dream.
Well, at least he didn't have mouths on his knees.
Yeah, you got me there.
Another time, Joseph dreamed that the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowed down to him.
I'm sensing a theme here. Something about things bowing down to Joseph. But what could it mean?
Well, here's the deal. These dreams weren't just random. They actually meant something, and they came from God. God gave Joseph those dreams to tell him something, to show him that he had big plans for his life.
So what happened next?
Well, after Joseph had those dreams, he told his family all about them.
Probably not the best idea, dude. Your 11 brothers don't really like you. They probably don't want to hear a dream about them bowing down to you. Did it, make them mad?
Oh yeah.
Really mad?
Yup. So mad, in fact, that they actually started planning a way to get rid of Joseph. They thought about just killing him.
Yikes, that escalated quickly.
But then they came up with a way to get rid of him and make some money at the same time.
Man, these guys are some serious jerks.
No kidding. They all ganged up on Joseph, ripped off his fancy coat, and threw him in a well. Later, a caravan passed by and they pulled him out of the well.
Oh, thank goodness.
And sold him off as a slave.
What? Come on, man.
They laughed and counted their money as Joseph was carried off by the slave traders, headed for a life of backbreaking work in a strange foreign land.
Man, that's rough.
Then, to cover their tracks, they all made up a story to tell their dad. They took Joseph's fancy coat, ripped it to shreds, and put animal blood all over it. They showed it to their father and said that Joseph was killed by a wild animal.
And he believed them?
Well, yeah.
Man, these brothers are just the worst. Never mind, I don't want to be on a football team with these guys. You ever scored a touchdown or made a good play? They just try and kill you.
I wouldn't be surprised. Jacob was heartbroken about Joseph. As far as he knew, his favorite son was gone forever.
Man, this story has some seriously tough stuff. I thought you said that Joseph's life was gonna be all special, but so far it's just sad and whatnot. You gotta warn me next time.
Well, just wait and see, because the story is totally not over yet. Yeah, Joseph's life started kind of rough, and honestly, it's not all smooth sailing from here. But even when his circumstances didn't look great, God never left him and still had an amazing plan for his life.
So wait, that's not the end?
Oh no, this story's just getting started.
To be continued? Oh, I like those. Oh man, but now I gotta wait for the next part. You're good. Well played.
It's time for a Bible story. Today we're looking at the story of Joseph, part 2.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we had the whole to be continued thing last time. But could we do a quick recap or something? Like a lot's happened since then. I can't really remember the details.
Wait, so much has happened in 1 week that you really can't remember?
Yeah, man. Had a busy week. Had to wash my 3 cats. Made a corn maze in my backyard. Had to read 14 books twice.
Okay, sure. We can do a recap. Joseph lived in the land of Canaan, and he had 11 brothers.
Yup.
But they really didn't like him.
Ah, that's right, because their dad gave Joseph that sweet coat with all the colors.
Exactly. Then God gave Joseph some dreams, telling him that he had big plans for his life.
Yeah, like the one where the wheat stood up and all the other bundles bowed down to it. And then the one where the sun, the moon, and 11 stars all bowed down to Joseph.
You got it.
Plus that one dream where he had mouths on his knees.
No, that was your dream, and it was super weird. Get that out of here.
Yeah, sorry.
Joseph's brothers were so jealous that they threw him down into a pit. Then they told their dad that he had been killed by a wild animal and sold him off as a slave.
Gotcha. So now we're all caught up, okay? What happened next?
Well, Joseph was under the control of the slave traders. He was forced to walk for miles and miles in his chains with no idea where he was going.
Man, that sounds kind of scary.
No kidding. They led Joseph all the way to the land of Egypt.
Whoa, like Egypt? Egypt? Like where the pyramids are?
You bet.
Dag, yo, that's like way far away.
It sure was. And that only made things worse. Not only would he be forced to work as a slave, but he was so far away from home. He didn't speak their language and he wasn't used to their food. It was not a great situation.
Man, I wish he wasn't so alone like that.
Well, he might have felt like he was alone, but he actually wasn't. The Bible says that even in this rough situation, the Lord was with him. He never left Joseph, and he still had big plans for his life.
Like even in a really bad spot like this?
Totally. Here, I'll show you what I mean. Soon after he came to Egypt, he was sold to a man named Potiphar.
Wait, what's that guy's name? Pot of fur?
No.
Honda bird?
No, say it after me. Potiphar.
Potty turd.
No! Come on, man. That's not even close.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to say potty.
Potiphar was a very wealthy man. In fact, he was one of the Pharaoh's officials.
Whoa, that's a pretty big deal, huh? Isn't Pharaoh like the leader of all of Egypt?
Sure is. So this meant Potiphar had a lot of power and lived in a nice big house.
Hey, that's kind of cool, actually. I mean, even though he's a slave, at least he gets to live like in a house and do some cool work indoors, huh?
Exactly. That's one way that God took care of Joseph through this whole deal.
Gotcha. So that's what you were saying about how no matter the circumstances, God's big plans are still working.
Now you're starting to get it.
So what happened next? Did he just like live it up working in that sweet mansion, mowing the yard, dusting the statues, cleaning the pool?
Not exactly. For a while, everything actually seemed to be going okay. Until something bad happened.
Of course it did. Can't have too much good stuff happening for old Joseph, can we? Something's gotta come along and mess it all up. What happened? Did Joseph like make a mistake or something?
No, actually, Joseph didn't do anything wrong. But Potiphar's wife was not a great person, and she lied about Joseph and got him in big trouble.
But you said he didn't do anything wrong. How come he got in big trouble?
Well, he was still just a lowly slave boy, so Potiphar actually sided with his wife.
Oh man, that stinks. So what happened? Did he just like go work for somebody else?
No, actually, he got thrown into prison.
Wait, what? That double stinks, but he didn't do anything. All right, Joseph, time to lawyer up. Be all like, I'll see you in court, lady. You're trying to lie about me and send me to jail? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Okay, calm down. That's not really how it worked back then. If someone like Potiphar wanted you to go to jail, you went to jail.
Man, this is all just a big old bologna cramwich with extra bogus sauce and a side of ripoff.
I know, but remember, even in all those dark times, the Lord was still with Joseph.
Wait, but how? His situation keeps getting worse and worse. First, he's thrown into a pit by his jerk brothers. Then he gets sold into slavery. Then he gets lied about by some jerk lady and thrown into a stinking rat-infested prison.
That's true. His circumstances weren't all that great, but God still had a great, big, awesome plan for his life. And even in the hard times, the Lord was with him. But then, something was about to happen that would change things big time.
Oh, really? What happened?
Well, that's the next part of the story.
Oh man, you got me with another to be continued! Never even saw it coming. Man, you're good.
It's time for a Bible story.
The Story of Joseph, Part 3.
Do you need another refresher to get you caught up to speed on what happened last time?
Nah, man, I got this. Check it out. I'm gonna do a rapid-fire recap. Ready, go. Joseph had 11 brothers, and they were jerks. And then he had some dreams where everything was bowing down to him, and his brothers threw him in a pit and sold him into slavery, and then he worked for Potiphar, and then Potiphar's wife was a big jerkface and lied about him and threw him into jail. Boom.
Wow, that was actually pretty impressive. And yes, that's exactly where our story picks up. Joseph was wrongfully accused and thrown into jail, but it wasn't just a regular jail. This was a prison where all of the king's prisoners were sent, so it was extra secure. There is no way anyone was getting out of this place.
Yeesh. So I guess that's about it for old Joseph, huh? Well, it was fun while it lasted. The end.
No way, man. This is totally not the end of the story. Even though it looked like his situation was getting worse, the Lord gave Joseph great favor with everyone around him. The guards liked Joseph so much that they let him help out around the prison. They didn't even lock him up.
Whoa, that's crazy. So that's what you mean when you were saying that through this whole deal, the Lord was with him?
You bet. Because Joseph had a great attitude, was respectful, and cared about other people, his time spent in prison wasn't nearly as bad as it could have been. In fact, Joseph was so good at noticing people around him and going out of his way to care about them that one day, something happened that would change his life big time.
Oh yeah, you said last time there was this big thing coming up. Is this it?
Yep.
And you're not gonna get me with another to be continued, are you?
Well, I'll let you know next time. To be continued.
Ah, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, I was just joking. We're not done yet.
Whew, thank goodness. Really got me good there. So what happened?
Since this prison was where all of the king's prisoners were sent, there were two men that used to work directly for the Pharaoh. One was a baker, the other was a cupbearer.
Wait, a cupbearer? His job was to put bears in cups? That sounds hard. You gotta either have some big old cups or some tiny bears.
No, he wasn't a bear cupper, he was a cup bearer. That meant that he would serve drinks to the Pharaoh in a cup.
Gotcha. That makes more sense. So these guys were in jail, huh?
Yep. Since Joseph was in charge of the prison, the guards assigned these two guys to him. Then, one night, both the baker and the cupbearer each had some pretty strange dreams.
Oh boy, here we go again with the dreams. Oh, speaking of dreams, last night I had this crazy dream where my ears turned into chili dogs.
No! I don't want to hear any more about your crazy dreams. We're talking about their dreams. The next day, Joseph could tell that something was bothering them. Both the cupbearer and the baker looked like they didn't sleep very well and were all stressed out.
Well, I mean, they are in prison, not exactly a stress-free environment.
Yeah, but this was different. Joseph was very good at noticing people around him and caring about them. So he asked them what was bothering them. They told him that they had some very strange dreams, but didn't know what they meant.
I know what my dream meant, that I shouldn't eat chili cheese dogs right before I go to sleep.
Well, that's true. But when Joseph heard that they were troubled by their dreams, he thought of something. Back home, God helped Joseph understand what his dreams meant, so he offered to help interpret the dreams of the baker and the cupbearer.
Hey, look at that! Joseph's in jail. These guys go there too. Joseph can interpret dreams. These guys have dreams that need to be interpreted. You weren't kidding about God having a plan for Joseph's life, huh?
Exactly. The cupbearer and the baker both told Joseph what their dreams were, and God revealed to Joseph what those dreams meant. The cupbearer's dream was about a vine and 3 branches that sprouted grapes, and he squeezed those grapes into the Pharaoh's cup. Joseph told him what that meant, that in 3 days he would be released and would go back to his job serving drinks to the Pharaoh.
Good for him! That's awesome! So what about the baker's dream?
In the baker's dream, there were 3 baskets of bread sitting on top of his head. A bunch of birds flew up and started eating out of one of them. Unfortunately, Joseph told him that this meant that in 3 days, the Pharaoh would have him killed.
Yikes! Classic case of the old good news, bad news, huh? Did those things come true?
They sure did. 3 days later, the cupbearer was restored back to his job, and the baker was, well, let's just say he sleeps with the fishes.
What? Gross. Why would you sleep in a pile of fish? Ugh, that would smell terrible.
No, like He took a dirt nap.
Wait, now he's sleeping in the dirt? I mean, that's better than a pile of fish, but still, just sleep in a bed, dude.
No, he died.
Oh, gotcha. Took a double dip out of the old cosmic cookie jar, huh?
Yeah, that's not a phrase. Never mind.
So what happened next? Those guys just left and Joseph stayed in jail?
Not exactly. Before the cupbearer left, Joseph asked him to tell the Pharaoh about his situation, that he was wrongfully accused of something that he didn't do and thrown into jail.
Oh, awesome. This is his chance to get set free. Did the cupbearer remember to tell the Pharaoh about him?
No. He forgot.
What? You gotta be joking me. So Joseph just stays in prison? Bummer.
He did for a while, but not forever. 2 years after the cupbearer was released, something happened with Pharaoh. He had some strange dreams and didn't know what they meant. It really bothered him.
Hey, this sounds familiar. Someone had a strange dream that needs to be interpreted. Who you gonna call? Dream Buster!
The Pharaoh got all of his wise men, sages, and the magicians together and told them to interpret the dream, but none of them knew what it meant. Then, all of a sudden, the cupbearer remembered that Joseph can interpret dreams.
Yes, it's about time you remember about him. Tell the Pharaoh! Tell the Pharaoh!
That's exactly what he did. Pharaoh called for Joseph to be brought before him and explained what the dreams were. In one dream, there were 7 fat, healthy cows standing by the Nile River. Then 7 skinny, ugly cows came out of the river and ate up the fat cows.
Hold on. Why are you giving me all the grief for my dreams? That was the weirdest dream I've ever heard.
The Pharaoh also dreamed that there was a stalk of wheat with 7 healthy heads of grain. Then 7 other heads of grain sprouted that were thin and sun-scorched, and they swallowed up the healthy grains.
Whoa, talk about weird dreams. Joseph's really got his work cut out for him, huh? What in the world did those mean?
God revealed to Joseph what the dreams meant, and he told Pharaoh everything. He said that there would be 7 years of plenty in the land of Egypt, with more than enough food for everyone. But after that, there would be 7 years of famine where there would be nothing to eat.
Whoa, that's pretty serious. So, what did Pharaoh do?
He was so relieved to know what the dreams meant. He was also so glad to know that the famine was coming in 7 years so everyone could start preparing and storing up food.
Awesome! But wait, what happened to Joseph? Please don't tell me he goes back to jail. If he goes back to jail, I'm just gonna start swinging.
No, he didn't go back to jail. The Pharaoh was so impressed with Joseph that he gave him a job. Pharaoh made Joseph second in command over all of Egypt.
What? Seriously? The big number 2? Second in command? That is awesome!
Yeah, man. The only person in the entire country with more power than Joseph was Pharaoh himself.
Man, that is pretty incredible. You were totally right about God having big plans for Joseph's life. Doesn't get much bigger than that.
No kidding. Joseph's life was totally changed. And it probably wouldn't have happened like that if he didn't notice the people around him back when he was in jail. And something else was about to happen that nobody expected.
Nice try. I see you coming a mile away. You're about to do another to be continued, aren't you?
I sure am. Bam!
Yep, I called it. Totally called it.
It's time for a Bible story. The story of Joseph, part 4.
Wait, this is the last part of the story of Joseph, huh?
Sure is.
Man, this story got way crazier than I expected.
That's true. Joseph did go through a lot, but remember, through it all, in every bad situation, God still had big plans for his life.
No kidding. God's plan really was big. He was sold into slavery by his brothers, then he was lied about and thrown in jail. Now he's pretty much running the entire country of Egypt.
Totally. After Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dream, the Pharaoh made him second in command and put him in charge of preparing for the coming famine.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the whole famine thing. Bummer.
But before the famine, there were 7 years of plenty, just like Joseph said there would be when he interpreted Pharaoh's dream. Joseph organized a system for all of the excess food to be stored in warehouses for the coming famine.
Dude, that would be awesome. An entire warehouse full of food? I would totally sneak in at night and Scrooge McDuck that bad boy.
Well, it wasn't for eating then, it was for saving. That's the whole point. Just like Joseph said, after the 7 years of plenty, there was 7 years of famine. All of the crops dried up and nothing would grow. There was no food anywhere. Not just in Egypt, but for miles and miles all around.
Oh no, what are they gonna do? If the people don't have any food, they're gonna starve, man! They're gonna starve!
I know, that's why Joseph stored up all the food, remember?
Oh, right. Forgot about that.
Joseph set up a system for people to come and get rations of food to eat so they could make the food last for all 7 years.
Man, Joseph is so smart. If I was as smart as Joseph, I would totally be an inventor and invent something awesome. Like a machine that takes bread and heats it up on the sides, Oh, and you could put a timer on it or something.
You mean a toaster?
Hey, that's a great name for my invention. I'm totally gonna use that.
Well, Joseph was very smart, so God set him up to help tons and tons of people survive this famine that otherwise probably would have died.
Man, that is so cool. Joseph is like a superhero, except he saves people with food. He's like a food-per-hero.
It's definitely not a word, but millions of people from all over Egypt and the surrounding area would come and get portions of grain to take home. And one day, some people showed up to get some food that Joseph never expected to see.
The Power Rangers.
What?
Yeah, man. They gotta eat too. Gotta keep their energy up for all that morphine.
No, not the Power Rangers. It was his brothers.
What? His brothers are the Power Rangers?
What? No, his actual brothers.
Oh, like his brothers? Like the dudes that threw him in a pit and sold him off into slavery? How dare they even show their faces around here? What happened when they saw Joseph?
Actually, nothing happened. It had been so long since they got rid of Joseph that they totally forgot what he even looked like. When they were next in line to get some food, they didn't recognize Joseph, but he sure recognized them. There he was, standing face to face with the people that caused him so much pain and hardship.
Oh man, and now he's second in command over all of Egypt, dude. He's got so much power, he could totally get even with those jerks. What'd he do, huh? Throw him in jail? Tar and feather him? Make him eat bugs?
Nope, he didn't do anything.
Wait, what? This is your chance, dude. Come on, Joseph, get some sweet revenge. Get even, do something.
Well, he did do something, but it wasn't what you might expect. He gave them a test.
Ah, nice. He gave him some homework. Got some revenge after all, huh? Brutal.
No, not like that kind of test. Since they didn't know it was Joseph that they were talking to, he wanted to see if they had truly changed or were the same old jerks they used to be.
Ah, man, he's good.
Joseph questioned them about where they were from, what they were doing there, and even asked them if they had any other brothers. They told Joseph how they did have another brother, but he had been gone for a long time, and they felt terrible about what had happened to him.
So wait, they were sorry about what they did to Joseph?
Totally. In fact, while they were standing there talking to him, they were saying that they never should have harmed Joseph so long ago. Joseph saw that they were sorry for what they did, and he was filled with compassion for them. After a while, he couldn't hold it back anymore. He told them who he really was. He was Joseph, the brother that they got rid of so long ago.
Man, I bet that was the shock of a lifetime.
It sure was. His brothers couldn't believe their eyes. They were so happy to see that he was alive and doing so well, but their happiness quickly turned into fear, since they knew that Joseph could get even with them now.
And he totally did, right? He was all like, "You bunch of jerks, eat all these bugs!"
No, he didn't do that. He forgave them.
Wow, seriously?
Yep. Joseph knew that getting revenge on his brothers would ultimately hurt his family even more, and God gave him the power to forgive them. Even though his brothers totally hurt him and got him into all sorts of trouble, they apologized for what they had done, so Joseph chose to forgive them.
Man, that is incredible. Way to go, Joseph. Taking the high road. Nice.
And not only that, but he brought the rest of his family to Egypt, including his father Jacob, who is now a very old man. And he was so glad to see Joseph alive. It was like the ultimate family reunion.
Whoa, I get it now. All these big plans you kept talking about, it's all coming together. Even in the hard times, when everything seemed to be going wrong, God was still with Joseph and used his circumstances to take care of him and his whole family.
Exactly. The story of Joseph shows us that even in the hard times, God is still with us. And maybe most importantly of all, that being able to forgive, even when it's not easy, can make all of the difference.
That is awesome. But wait, since this is the last part of the story, there's no more to be continueds, are there?
Nope, that's a wrap on old Joseph.
Ah, man, I was just starting to like those. Gonna miss those little guys.
Me too, pal. Me too. Well, the end.
You don't have to say it like that.